guys, how are we doing today? The iPodKid here, and this is going to be a quick, very basic run-through of the 2009 September 9th Apple Keynote Conference in San Francisco, the It's Only Rock and Roll Conference, which was pretty much going to be the release of the new iPods and also some upgrades to iTunes. So we're going to kick it over to my computer and I will show you guys some of the new picks, specs, prices, and pretty much just give you guys a really small run-through of what actually happened at the conference. Alrighty, so we're going to start this video off with new upgrades to iTunes version 9. It is a free download for Mac and PC users, definitely a nice feature there, and also it has some pretty significant upgrades into this iTunes version. The iTunes Store is going to have a completely revamped look with a new search bar, so you'll be able to find your music faster and easier. Also, syncing is going to be a lot easier with your iPod or your iPhone, and there's going to be different applications that are going to be available to you. Stuff like Madden Football 2010, a game called Nova, which is soon to be released, which will have a very Halo-ish online multiplayer feel to it, which definitely looks awesome. A new first-person shooter. Assassin's Creed 2 is set to also come out later this year. And also, with iTunes version 9, you now have the ability to sync, categorize, and pretty much just arrange your applications on your iTunes in your computer and then sync it with your iPod or iPhone, which definitely is awesome. Very easy to actually organize those how you want them. You can do it through all the different pages. Definitely a great feature in iTunes 9. Also, you do now have the ability to share your content with up to 5 computers in your house. I know that you could authorize accounts with up to 5 computers in previous iTunes versions, but now you can share applications, videos, music, anything that you actually purchase from the iTunes Store with up to 5 different computers in your entire house, which is definitely an awesome feature. So you don't have to rebuy stuff if you want to watch it downstairs or upstairs. So that's pretty much the significant upgrades with iTunes version 9. There are some more, but those are going to be the hottest ones I was going to be talking about. Next for you guys on the list, we are going to get into the iPod Shuffles. Really not too many significant, huge differences in these. As you see, there are going to be 5 colors now. There were only the previous black and silver, but now you do have these 5 colors, which is going to be black, silver, pinkish red, green, and blue. Really not too many huge differences. It is nice though that you can get some more colors. The Shuffles have always been known for having multiple colors though after the first generation, so that's definitely nice. If you're looking for a new iPod, but you really don't want to do all the whole application, game, video kind of stuff, just looking to hold your music, Shuffle is always a great way to go. There is no screen, it's going to be the cheapest version, and you can pretty much just hold your music up to 1,000 songs. Next iPod version we're going to get into. We're going to get into the iPod Nano because that definitely got the most significant upgrades in this entire Apple conference. Definitely some awesome ones here. As you guys see, iPod Nano comes in all the great colors it used to, but now it is going to have a polished anodized aluminum finish. As you guys can tell here, it does look a lot sleeker, a lot nicer right there. Also, it's going to have a little bit larger of a screen, FM radio with live pause, so say you're in the middle of a song listening to it on the radio, your parents come in, you are stopped and you have to talk to someone, you can pause that radio right in the middle of the song or the talk wherever you are, and then once you're done you can actually pick up right where you paused off, and then also you can click a button to go back to live feed where you'll be able to get right back to where the radio should be if you didn't pause. So that's awesome, but the biggest, most significant feature is going to be the new video camera integration for the iPod Nanos. As you see there, it does have a video camera, so you'll be able to film and take pictures on your iPod Nano. That is awesome, sweet feature right there. That's definitely going to be a huge selling point for the new iPod Nanos. So congrats to Apple for that. That is awesome. That's going to be pretty much the most significant upgrades for the Nano. And now to the huge downer of the iPod Touch. I, like most of you know, am a huge iPod Touch fan, and Apple today basically slapped me across the face saying, haha, you suck, don't buy this now. Because the iPod Touches did not get cameras installed into the new models. And when I say new, I mean new models. It is kind of a joke. It did get a couple very small upgrades, just enough to make people want to buy them, but not too many huge ones. We'll go into the actual buy now, and I'll show you these. Really only a couple upgrades. One, price drop, definitely a nice feature. An 8GB model, $200. 32GB model, $300. 64GB model is $400. So the new upgrade, number 1, there is a 64GB model which will hold 80 hours of video, 14,000 songs. But that's going to be 400 whopping bucks. And then also the other somewhat feature is going to be faster performance with your iPod Touch on the 32GB, 64GB versions, which is very similar to what the iPhone 3GS got included with it. So now your applications will load faster, and internet speeds are going to be faster, just faster performance overall. It'll turn on faster, so it's going to be a faster device. That's kind of a nice feature, but if you have an iPod Touch 2nd generation, I wouldn't recommend to go out and swap it for a new one. I wouldn't even call this an iPod Touch 3rd generation. I would just call this an iPod Touch 2GS pretty much. I don't know if that's what it's actually called, but anyway, another thing, if you do buy the 32 or 64 gigabyte version, you will get earphones with the remote and the microphone, which Apple just recently released, so you'll be able to use a microphone on some of the applications, but there is no microphone actually integrated into the device. It's going to be on the earphones, and also there is no video camera integrated into the device, so Apple did slap us all in the face today. I have heard that there were malfunctions with the actual cameras being on the iPod Touches, and apparently, don't quote me on this, but apparently they might be releasing new iPod Touches towards like October, November of this year, once they actually get the cameras fixed. That might be completely bullcrap, I don't know, I'm not confirming that. But that would be nice if they actually made a 3rd generation iPod Touch instead of just making an iPod Touch 2GS kind of. It's very iPhone-ish now with the faster performances really, but no significant upgrades with the iPod Touch, sadly, so I'm going to be waiting now until I buy my new one. Anyway, upgrades were iTunes 9, the new iPod Shuffle line, the new iPod Nano line, which definitely got the nicest feature upgrades, and also the iPod Touch, which got the price drop. So if you didn't own an iPod Touch previously and you're waiting for one, you can go out and buy one now. There's some new sizes and new price drops, but if you were waiting for a bigger, better version, you're not going to get it in this conference, sadly. Anyway, guys, those are some of the most basic upgrades that happened at the iPod Apple Conference 2009, September 9th, whatever. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I didn't talk too fast to rip your ears off, but I will talk to you later and have a fantastic day.